How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. Today we have something just a little bit different. What you are looking at currently is my first ever video I uploaded to YouTube, right? This was the Infinite Dragon Ball history run that we did with the Bond of Master and Disciple category, like right when the AGL Future Trunks and Gohan came out. Why am I talking about this? Well, today, February 25th, marks 1 year on YouTube. So it's officially 365 days ago that I uploaded this first ever video. And I just wanted to take some time today and kind of talk about the journey, talk about how it's been, and do a little Q&A. I put out a post earlier this week asking you guys to, fill in your questions, ask me anything you want within reason, and a lot of you guys responded. I'm really happy at the response we got to this, so I'll be spending some time today, going over those questions and, like I said, talking about the journey. So let's go ahead, let's dive right in here. So like I said, this is my first ever video I uploaded to YouTube. I just, on a whim one day, decided to upload this video. I said, you know what? This is something I want to start doing. I want to commit to this, and I mean, I never expected it to take off the way it did, and I'm really surprised. I'm really happy with the way things have gone, and I'm really happy at the growth I've experienced, not just in sub counts and friends we've made along the way, but like in what I've learned, right? I've learned a lot about studying the game, and I've learned a lot, like you can see here, my thumbnails have gotten significantly better since then, right? I have a sort of set theme that I use now for all of my thumbnails, and like I've just, I've gotten better at learning how to use tools like Photoshop, OBS, and, all the standard recording stuff. Like it just, through this channel, I have learned a lot about myself and about like things I can do. I've also made a lot of friends in learning how to do this kind of stuff, reaching out to different people, learning how to do different things from them. And I feel like that's part of the journey as well, this growth. By the way, this header here, shout out to Zermillion, who put together this header. I think it was around just before Heroes was dropping, around the time that Pan came. Oh, yeah, actually, it was before Heroes. It was around the time that Pan came out. And I've been using this header ever since. I really like it. And so shout out to you for this. This was really good. But, I mean, like I said, I've experienced a lot of growth, not just in my technical abilities, but and what I've learned about the game and learned about the community. It's been really, really fun for me, right? We've done so much on the channel, starting from this first video ever where I just, uploaded the Bond of Master and Disciple mission for Infinite Dragon Ball history, right? Showing you guys how to clear that, to my first ever summon video for the AGL Trunks, which seems fitting given the theme of the channel, right? Trunks being one of my favorite characters, and that happened to be the banner we started with. It wasn't necessarily intentional, but it felt right. You know what I mean? But, all the way to now where we are, where our most recent summon videos with, where are they? The Plants Eradicate the Saiyans, Goku. Here he is. Like, just, it's amazing how much fun this has had and how interactive it has been with you guys. Like, there's a lot of you guys who are always there on every upload, here to talk, here to ask questions, or just to check out the content. And all of you guys that are here and have been here for the last year, thank you so much. I really couldn't have been doing this without you guys. It's been a wonderful journey. I've made, like I said, tons of friends here. I do want to take some time to give a special shout out to Dark Sun Gaming and Greg Daw. I feel like we've made a really special connection. Like I'm talking with them a lot, just on different aspects of the game, and learning how to better myself. And I cannot thank them enough for helping me along this journey. So I did want to make sure I spent some time in here doing that. So without further ado, guys, that's kind of my story. That's kind of how I felt about the last year. It's been great. So let's go ahead. Let's jump into the questions, because I know that's what you guys are mostly here for. So I put out a poll earlier this week, just kind of asking you guys what would you want to ask me. So we'll just kind of go down the list, hit a few. Some of you guys put some questions in some other areas, so I'll be sure to address those as well. But let's start with Senor David. He's saying, congratulations, Celtic. Found out about the channel a few months ago, but definitely love the vibes. You know, man. Thank you, Senor David. That's some really wonderful compliments. You're a great guy, an awesome Dokkan tuber, and keep it up. I thank you, man. Thank you. I don't know if I could qualify as a Dokkan tuber yet. Still kind of growing, but I appreciate it, man. For the question, am I considering streaming? Well, I am. I want to. It is something I want to make happen. My only issue is due to my work schedule, and the way that, the fact that over here in Hawaii, like when it's 11:30 at night or 8:30 at night, if I'm lucky, and I'm able to record, half the world is already asleep for streaming. So I'm not so sure that the cards are on the table in that one for me, just because of the time zones and the way my work schedule works. But, maybe it's something we can try down the future. Maybe when things let up for me during the summer, that's something I can look into. But I definitely am looking at how to make it happen. I'm hoping that answers your question. Never outnumbered. Congrats. Not a lot of people can stick with it for a year. Great that you're reaching this milestone so soon. The question that you have for us, Never Outnumbered, is who would you love to see as a Dokkan Fest? Could be any kind of unit, a revive, a transformation, an exchange, swap, etc. I've actually been thinking about this a lot, and for me, my number one pick for a Dokkan Festival is Ten Shenhan. I feel like next to Piccolo, now we finally got a Piccolo LR, so I can back off of that one. Ten Shenhan needs one. This, particularly for me, this moment, the Shin Kiko-Ho, like, this was such an epic moment in the Android Cell Saga, and I feel like this was peak Ten Shenhan, next to, the martial arts tournaments in Dragon Ball proper, like, this is the Ten Shenhan, and, I just want this moment, like, with the good animations in the game. Heck, I'll take it as an active skill. I've thought about how they would do it, right? I figure, I know they already have, like, the tech support unit one, but I figure for him, they could make him, obviously, an Earthlings 200% leader, maybe as, like, a Carnival LR or something. I'm not sure how to approach it, now that we have this 200% meta, but, for sure, I would want him to lead Earthlings, and for the Kiko-Ho, I would actually prefer it not to be an active skill, as much as I want it voiced. Maybe they can have a portion of it voiced, but I would like it to be the main attack, and it's basically, for me, I would want him to work like the AGL Vegeta, where he has the ability to launch multiple attacks, which have a high chance of, or a great chance of becoming supers, each of which can stun. To me, that would be the insane thing. Just because, like, you think from the anime, right, he just kept launching the Kiko-Ho. And so, like, for me, I feel like that would be the way to approach it. Like, give him, like, crazy amounts of additionals, kind of like the AGL Trunks, too, right, for that matter. And allow him to just do that, raising his attack maybe each time while sacrificing some HP, but also stunning the enemy, right? So that way, he's just... I want him to be a monster. Like, Tien is one of those characters like the Videl, like Ginyu, like Raditz, who we're probably ever only going to get one of them. And so I just want him to be insane when he finally does come. So, let's see. Let's take a look. Next question. From, I hope I'm saying this right. I'm going to go Mid-Maxco. Hopefully I said that right. I'm sorry if I didn't. Maybe you can spell it out for me in the comments. Question. Most stones I've ever spent on a banner. Oh, that's an easy one. You guys, if you've been around the channel, you've heard me tell this story a bunch of times, but let's see. It was this banner here, the Divine Dragon Carnival banner for the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. This was the first LR banner I summoned on when I started playing Dokkan, and I think it took me 1,500, almost 1,600 to pull one copy of the Gohan. It was kind of ridiculous. That was my first like real shaft for a unit. Like I didn't expect that. Like I think the only major banner I summoned on right before this banner was the Blue Boys and then Heroes. Other than that, like I summoned on the initial banner that I started on, which was the the worldwide celebration with the STR Vegito. Got the STR Vegito and I just stopped. I didn't summon anymore, and then I saved up all my stones and spent everything I had on this banner. And yeah, it was pretty rough. And then icing on the cake with this banner though was that the very next LR banner, I threw a YOLO multi at, I think it was Jiren, right? I threw a YOLO multi at Jiren and got a dupe of this guy on the very next multi. It was like salt in the wound on that one. But I would say that was probably the most I've spent, unless you count the JP one that I did earlier this year, where I went like 4,000 stones to try to get a copy of the anniversary LRs. But I don't think that counts because that was a reroll, right? But yeah, so that's the most I've spent as a free-to-play player. Now that things are different, maybe we'll start seeing more, but we'll have to see. Okay, so up next we have Fade to Blacks. Congrats. Question is a bit standard, but curious. How did I get my channel started? Did you start playing Dokkan with it, or did you play before? And have you considered playing something different? Well, I kind of just answered that question in the beginning, right? So I started the channel back February 25th when the right before the AGL Trunks banner dropped. And I actually started playing Dokkan during the Worldwide Celebration 2020, during COVID, right? Everything was locked down. We didn't really have much to do, so I was just like, you know what? Let me pick back up this game. I think the very first time I played Dokkan was when it first came out. I tried it out, wasn't into it then, but then I came back to it. Like I said, you know, didn't have much to do during like COVID and like distance learning and all that stuff, so I just kind of picked it up and just went with it, and I've been playing ever since and been having a lot of fun with it. Now, as far as considering playing other games, you know, in my free time I do play a lot of games. I play Duel Links, I play Master Duel, I play you know, Pokemon. I do have Violet, I think it is. And then I play a couple of games on the PlayStation. I think the two most recent games I picked up on PlayStation were Elden Ring and Sonic Frontiers. As far as playing them on the channel, I know YouTube's algorithm doesn't like that, but I mean, if I ever can get around to streaming, that might be something we can look into as a, like, you know, once a week type thing, maybe. Like I said, it really depends on where my cards are at and how my work schedule is looking here in the future. But I'm definitely considering it. I don't want to say no, but I don't want to say yes either, just because, like I said, I don't really know how my cards are going to play in the next couple of months. From Vegito, all right, I've been seeing you a lot around the channel lately. How's it going, man? So, your question, have you played any other game other than Dokkan? If so, which is your favorite? Well, I have played quite a few games, actually. As I mentioned, I have played Pokemon. Obviously, with my profile picture, you see that, you know, Legend of Zelda is a big thing of mine. I played every game since the very first game. I think A Link to the Past was technically the first game I played, but then I went and played the two previous titles before that, maybe a couple months later. But yeah, and like Ocarina of Time, I know like the back of my hand. I've replayed that game so many times. So if it's a Zelda game, I'm playing it. I'm definitely looking forward to Tears of the Kingdom when that comes out. I'll be playing that nonstop. Whether or not I can upload anything with that, that's another story though. But definitely a huge Legend of Zelda fan. I'll play those games all day long. Next question from The One. Congrats, bro. What are your top 10 Dragon Ball characters from Z and Super? I actually had a hard time with this one, but you know what? I did it. I made a little tier list here of my top 10 Dragon Ball characters. So I'm going to go ahead and go through this one. This is actually kind of fun. I never really thought about ranking the characters, but there's some I put together because I feel like they kind of need to be together. But for me, number one is Vegeta and Trunks. They didn't have an image here of Trunks from Z, but for me, preferably Z Trunks. But, Super Trunks is kind of cool. He's not that bad. I feel like his story in Kakarot, like when they get to like what happens to him towards the future, is a little bit better. But like the way he's presented in Super, I wasn't a fan of. But I say that to say both Vegeta and Trunks are number 1 for me. Gohan is actually number 2. I actually like Gohan's character arc all the way up until Majin Buu Saga. I know a lot of people kind of hate on Gohan Majin Buu Saga, at least up until he turns Ultimate, but I like the character. Like, Peacetime Gohan is actually kind of cool. Like, that's exactly how you imagine the strongest fighter in the world, being a kid, was going to react to entering high school. He was going to be a superhero, right? Like, that was great. I loved that. And now I really like how they have handled him in the Dragon Ball Super movie, so he definitely gets number 2 in my spot. Piccolo, always going to be one of my fan favorites. First episode of Dragon Ball Z I ever watched was the very first episode, and it was just like, yeah, this dude's cool. I like this. I like what him and Goku are doing. And then I went back a few months later after seeing that and watched the original Dragon Ball, just finding out that Dragon Ball Z was actually the sequel. I went back and watched the original, and I was like, okay, yeah, I completely like this dude. I like this characterization. I like the fact that like he's trying to sort of make up for the sins of the father, basically. It's great. I like his character arc. As far as other characters go, I actually have Cell in my top 5. I think he is definitely one of the better villains of the series. I know that's a bit of a controversial take, but I actually prefer him over Frieza. Yeah, Frieza was the big, maniacal, tyrannical, evil emperor, but I still think I mean, he's a good villain, don't get me wrong. He's evil for evil's sake. I liked the way Cell was handled. I mean, I know there was those issues with Toriyama and like how he was kind of forced to rewrite the chapters, and we eventually landed with Cell, but I think it all worked out in the end. Cell ended up being a really, really good villain for Goku and the crew. Now, this is kind of a crazy take, but Goku just barely squeezes into the top 5 for me. Like, he's a great character. His arc is always wanting to be better than the next guy. The lust for battle is really, really good. I do like that about him, but I don't know. He just doesn't do it for me, you know what I mean? Following him, Ten Shinhan in number 6. Like I said, he's basically the 3 main... except for Krillin, I guess. Poor Krillin. But I was going to say, everybody from the original saga is all here. Goku, Piccolo, Ten Shinhan. Following Ten Shinhan, I have Beerus and Whis. I feel like I had to kind of put them together. I feel like they go together. I feel like they really do complement Super as a series. Their interactions, Whis' whimsical ways, and I like the fact that they're characterized as foodies. That's kind of funny to me. They definitely make the list for me. Following them, I have Goku Black. I actually think that's a really, really well-established villain. And you know what? Because I mentioned Goku Black, I'm going to go ahead and throw him on here as well. Do they have him? The movies? Where is he? Is he not on here? Well, I guess if I'm throwing Goku Black on here, I would also throw Baby Vegeta in here as well, because they're basically the same story. It's almost, I don't want to say it's beat for beat the same story, but the Goku Black arc and the Baby Saga have a lot of similar story beats. They're very, very similar, so I kind of like how both of them are handled. It's basically, you take Goku, you take Vegeta, and turn them evil. Add a little backstory there too, but I think I think they were good. I do actually like the androids, specifically the trio. I put them together because that whole romp they had, before they start killing everybody, I actually kind of enjoyed the interactions between the 3. I think that was really, really neat. I like how it was handled. And I like how they ended up not seeming as menacing as they were in the future, which was kind of nice. And then finally, we had to put the GOAT in himself. Old Kami Sennin, Master Roshi, deserves to be on the list. He's stood the test of time. He's been there since the beginning. And I just love his character. Perviness aside, he's still he's one of Goku's longest lasting masters, right? He's been with Goku since the beginning, and his arc in Dragon Ball Super, I feel like was handled really well, and it was definitely deserving of him. And the little bit, his final stand there, the final Kamehameha he does, that was just perfect. It was a nice way to end his arc in Super, and I felt it was really nice. So that's my list of the top 10 characters. Maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. Let me know if you had your own top 10. Just throw it down there. Who are your, maybe just do your top 5, right? Who are your top 5 Dragon Ball characters? But I really like this question. I had fun with that one. So next question from OG Nathan. Hey man, how's it going? I know you've been around the channel for a while. Question from you was if I've ever played God of War 4 and did I like it? I'm gonna sound like a loser here, but God of War 4, that's the first one that was on the PlayStation 4, right? And then the newest one is 5. Am I correct on that? Either way, no, I've never played any of them. I think I downloaded it, God of War 4, onto my PS5 when I got it, because it's one of the free games, right? And I haven't gotten around to playing it. I do mean to, and when I finally do, I'll be sure to let you know my thoughts on it. I did play 3. I think 3 was the very last one I played. I did like it. I did like all of those style of games back from the PS2 era, right? The God of War series 1 and 2, the Devil May Cries, and the such. Those were all fun games back in the PS2 era, so I'm not sure how different these are, 4 and 5, but I'll play them. I'll let you know how my final thoughts on it. So I did want to come back to Mr. Vegeto's question here. So you had a question about showing my box. I feel like the 1-year anniversary is a good place to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and set this up here. So let's transition over to our game here. Okay, yeah, so we're in. I will just go ahead. Well, let's go character list. And then I'm going to sort by LR here. Or not LR. Where is it? Rarity. Here we go. That's what I meant to do. Yeah, so this is my box. Like I said, I've been playing from since Worldwide 2020, so I've managed to build quite the collection, right? You see the most recent LR we've pulled was the STR Plan to Eradicate the Saiyans Goku, which has been pretty neat. I like this character. We've actually done a fairly decent job of pulling most of the LRs, if not on their initial banners, then definitely later down the road we've managed to get them. Yellow coin LRs notwithstanding, right? Some of the characters like the 5th year LRs, like these guys, they took me forever to pull. Like him, I think Baby Vegeta, if I can find him, where's he at? Right, Baby Vegeta here, Super Baby 2. I didn't pull him till Worldwide last year, right? So being that I started when I started, it took me a while to collect up a lot of the older units. Like, I'm still missing quite a few. Who am I missing from the OG set? No, I think at this point I've got everybody from the OG set. Zamos was the last one I was missing, and I did manage to pick them up. From the second set, I think I'm still missing a few, though, as well. But we do have a lot. We've managed to pick up most of the Dokkan Fest LRs now. I don't think I'm missing any of them. And we've got just about all the free-to-play LRs all grinded out, fully maxed out. As far as TURs go, we do have basically every Dokkan Fest available. I have not missed one yet. I'm hoping that stays true in the future, but fingers crossed. Let's not jinx anything here. But this is what we've got here. This is I think if I scroll over, I actually have a few organizations here, right? These are all the characters so far that I have max links. I think we're 167 max links characters. I've been grinding quite a lot, so we're actually doing really well here in that regard. We still got a few more. Try to get all the main ones that are easy aim during a celebration, right? Here we go. So here's all the DFEs and LRs we've acquired. I don't think we're missing anybody except. No, I did pick up STR Ulton, right? I got him during Worldwide last year, so... Actually, yeah, I do think I'm just about all caught up. I don't think I'm missing anybody at this point. But you know what? That's my box. Let me know. What is your box looking like? Ooh, I didn't mean to pick him. Because I put a lot of work into this, but I would love to see where you guys are at. Which ones are you missing? What's your white whale in Dokkan? Mine right now is the Fizz, Goku, and Piccolo. I cannot seem to pull those guys, but they are definitely mine. I'm also doing pretty well on 200% leads as well. But yeah, you know what? Let me know. What's your white whale in Dokkan? That would be kind of neat to talk about. What are we missing the most? Who are we chasing the most? I feel like that would be a fun topic of conversation. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's head back over. We have one more question, I think. Let's see here. I gotta find my little tab here. Here we go. Here it is. Okay, so we got one more little question here, and I think it was on another video. Yeah, here it is. Okay. Yeah, so one more question here. Okay. Am I going to do a post about Zelda when the new game comes out, wondering about Tears of the Kingdom? Like I said earlier, I do want to, but I know YouTube's algorithm doesn't really like that, right, when switching up content like that. So I've heard people, like, when they want to do stuff like that, they start a completely new channel. I don't really know if I want to do that, so like I said, I think my approach to this may be just like randomly streaming it one day if I can ever be able to do that. But I do want to do stuff about it. If you follow me on Twitter, I'll definitely be talking about it on Twitter, so we can talk about it there. But as far as how YouTube handles things, I'm really unsure on that. I'm still learning a lot about YouTube and how its algorithm works, but it's hit or miss. I've heard people do actually have success in doing that. I don't know how to pull it off, looking, there was one more question. Where is it? Somebody asked me and I don't see it here. Okay. Well, I was asked, what was my favorite anime? That was one of the questions I remember reading, and I actually pulled up a few tabs here because I couldn't decide when actually put on the spot. So, besides Dragon Ball, other animes I really spent a lot of time watching, growing up and even into now, is Bleach. Bleach is a very, very close second to Dragon Ball. I know that's the pretty vanilla answer, but for me, it's true. I really liked Bleach. I picked it up, I think, for the first time in, like, 2008, I think was the first time I came around to it. And I've been watching it ever since, for at least as long as it was on air. And now that it's back, obviously, I am continuing to watch it. I did pick up the manga, obviously, and but it's not really at number one by itself, because there's a few other animes I've watched and I always enjoy watching, right? So Fairy Tail is another big one for me. A friend of mine turned me onto this a few years ago, and I haven't stopped watching. It's another one of those series that I just keep coming back to. I really like the series. I like the art style. I remember the art style from, for the life of me, cannot remember the show, but I remember the artist's art style from a while before, and that's kind of what turned me onto it after my friend had showed it to me initially. And then one more anime that's always been big for me is actually the Yu-Gi-Oh! Franchise. Battle City being my favorite arc, but like I've watched every single Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime, starting all the way from season 0 all the way up to the most recent series. We're on 7s now, right? I love the series. I know it's silly. I know it's maybe a children's card game, so to speak, to quote the abridged series, but I love it. It's a great series for me to watch. It's one that I can kind of just throw in and have playing in the background and know what's happening without necessarily watching. And it's also one of the few that I will always be sure to watch subbed over dubbed. Like Dragon Ball, I can watch either or. But this one, like, I have to watch subbed. I don't know why. Dan Green's great as Yugi, but I don't know. It's not the same. It's just not the same. for me. So, you know, I think that covers just about all the questions that I remember reading, and that's all that I see here, and I think that's all from all of the other videos. So I had a lot of fun with this, guys. I really enjoyed doing this Q&A. I think that I have a lot to learn still about Dragon Ball. There's just, or I shouldn't say Dragon Ball, Dokkan Battle. I have a lot to learn still about Dokkan Battle. Some of you guys have tuned into my videos. You guys have seen how things are going here. You guys have, yeah, a lot of you guys like to jump in and correct me when I'm wrong, and I do appreciate that. I'm never going to double down when I know I'm wrong. Like, I'll look at what you say, and then I'll try to look back at the math or look back at what it's saying in the units kits and try to learn from it and try to build and try to always be better, because I've still got a lot to learn. I've also got a lot to learn too about how YouTube itself works. I feel like I'm getting better. I feel like everything around this is getting better, and I feel like I'm learning a lot from you guys, and you know, I'm just having a lot of fun here. You know, doing these showcases is always a lot of fun. Talking with you guys in the chats are always fun. Discord's always open. Those of you that do message me on Discord, always enjoy the chats. It's just, I found something that I enjoy doing, and it has made me happy. And me being happy interacting with you guys, I think, has been a real positive thing for my life, and I hope it's been a positive thing for you guys. You know, that's pretty much it, guys. That's the video. That's the Q&A. That's my story. That's my 1 year anniversary on YouTube. It's been a blast. It's been a ride, and I have had tons of fun with it. And hopefully you guys have had tons of fun here. So I did want to do one last thing before we leave. I managed to grind out 50 stones on my JP account, and we've got enough to finish off a rotation here on the video. So we're gonna go ahead, we're just going to hop into this last summon, and let's end this 1 year anniversary on YouTube with a bang. So I'm not going to crack the code. I feel like this is a special moment, and I don't want to take that from someone else. So let's go ahead. Let's jump in for this 1 year anniversary on YouTube multi. So nothing on my combo. Alright, so I don't think this is really going to be anything, but you know what, that's okay. This is just a happy YOLO summon. I'm excited. We're summoning on the Carnival banner, by the way, because that's what's live. I've already got the main LRs on this account, so this is just extra for fun summons. Alright, so we got a Fizz Mira. Okay. Alright, so we got one more multi. Let's do our free multi, and let's call this 1 year anniversary video. Alright, so again, no other combo. Alright, so yeah, for those that have been tracking on Twitter, I've been talking about it a lot. Yeah, these banners have not treated me well, like, whatsoever, but I'm okay with that. I have the main anniversary LRs fully rainbowed, and I'm okay with that. Ooh, wow, that's actually, yeah, really bad. So, like I said, guys, this was just kind of for fun. I wanted to share that little moment with you guys. It's been a blast. I have had fun. Hopefully you guys have had fun, and that's the video, guys. If you like the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. If you guys have been around for a while, let me know how long you guys have been subbed to the videos, or answer any of the questions that I've posed throughout the video. Would love to hear anything you guys have to say. Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and aloha.